from Austin-Bergstrom International Airport in Austin, Texas. This is a special edition of Runway DFW, in color.
Well, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you might be around this big blue marble. My name is Walt, and we are here to bring you our second stab at a live stream from Austin-Bergstrom International Airport in Austin, Texas. Welcome. Okay, it's just after 6:36. We're a little later than I thought we would be, but it was very dark here when we started setting up. Where's my microphone? I know you can hear me. Oh, there it is. No wonder. Hang on a second. You think you've got everything taken care of, and then you lose track of your microphone. So now I've got it. Okay. So anyway, what I was saying is, oh, and now it's starting to rain. Oh, great. Just super great. Okay, well, we'll muddle through as best we can. We may have to pull up stakes here shortly. I wasn't expecting rain at all. We are at, let me get this in while I can. We're at the family viewing area, which is on the east side of Austin-Bergstrom. And so we get a little different view. There's a runway on this side, and we've already seen several takeoffs while we were setting up. So let's pray to the rain gods that this is just a little sputter here. As you can see, our position is somewhat fence obscured. They have put in a riser here to kind of get above the main part of the fence, but nevertheless we do have the fence intruding on our shots of the planes coming and going, but nothing we can do about that. So we're looking now towards the terminal area. There's just one big terminal here, you know, at DFW where we normally operate. There are 5 terminals. Here there's just one. But there is an international section of it for planes that are coming and going from far afield. So I hope our signal is a little better today. We're in a different position, and looked pretty solid when I turned it on. That can always vary. So bear with us. I did make a compilation of yesterday's broadcast from a local recording, and I tried to upload it overnight at the hotel where I was staying here in Austin, and the internet was so slow that hours later it still had not finished uploading, so I may have to retry that one. But it was a spectacular view yesterday that we had from the tippy top of the blue parking garage here at Austin-Bergstrom. And again, I thank the staff of the airport for greasing the wheels so that we could broadcast to you from that location. Sam, if you're watching, thank you very much. And these Southwest planes, pardon me, are now lining up to take off. That one we're looking at there is Southwest Flight 222. That's headed to Houston. And no, I'm sorry, that's flight 2656 to Atlanta, and right behind it will be a flight to Houston. And there it is there. But now we have an incoming flight. Another Southwest flight. This one's coming in from Dallas Love Field. Another thing we never get to say on when we're at DFW Airport. So if I had my runways correct here, this is landing on runway 18 left, and on the other side of the airport is 18 right. There are two runways here. This is the shorter of the two. And as you can see, they come right by us here. This is a good spot for getting a feel of the power of these big jet engines. So here's the flight to Atlanta. Here on Runway DFW at AUS. As you can see, the visibility begins to diminish as the plane gets towards the end of runway. So we go 180 degrees in the other direction and we focus in on flight 222 to Houston. And if you're not familiar with Southwest Airlines, all of their planes are 737s of some ilk or another. This particular one is just 4 years old. It's a 737-8H4. Doesn't exactly trip off the tongue, but that's what it is. And now it's raining more. And here's the thing, folks. I do not have any rain gear for my camera equipment in my computer, and we're all out here in the elements. I could try to reconfigure with most of everything except the camera in the car, but that's going to take a bit. Well, here's some information about the terminals. I was incorrect about there just being one terminal. Centex Aviation saying we have three terminals, one cargo and two passenger. The Barbara Jordan terminal, the one that we were looking at earlier, the big one, is the main one, while the South terminal hosts two airlines with something like 5 air stair gates, so there's no jetways at the other terminal. And now the rain is falling. Okay, well folks, I'm gonna have to turn off our gear to protect it from the elements, and to ensure that we can give you another program at some point. I'll hang out here for a little bit, and maybe we can put everything back together if this is just a temporary event. Can you hear the frustration in my voice? Yeah, I just don't have the I'm having to wipe away the wetness from my viewing screen, and my computer is not waterproof. So, okay. Well, everybody, now it's stopping. Okay. Well, let me see if we can hang out just a little bit longer. I'm going to get a cloth to wipe down my screens here, so I'll be right back. Hang out here with us on Runway DFW at AUS. Well, I guess that's, in baseball, that's what you'd call a rain delay. And I've been busy wiping down my gear, and now I've got, it's not a heavy rain, it's not like a downpour, it's just a misting kind of rain. And so I've covered up everything with shirts and wiping rags and everything that I could find to keep us on the air. It's not whether I get wet or not, that's not an issue. I can deal with that. So let's keep going here. Thank you for bearing with us. And let me be among the first to say, may the 4th be with you on this Star Wars Day, 2022. Let me see if we're still on the air here. Yes, I think we are. Okay, we haven't missed anything because there's no planes taking off or landing, so bear with us. MJ Scanlon, photographer. Our regular viewers asking which side of the airport I'm on. Curious, we're on the east side of the airport, adjacent to runway 18 left. And this is the shorter of the two runways here at the big airport, at Austin Airport. And so yesterday when we had an overview of the of the west side, that's where the larger jets tend to come in. Like for instance, we saw, I'm wiping off our lens here. That is where the British Airways A350 came in during our visit yesterday. So let's see what time I'm... The screen keep going off here. I see on the radar a JetBlue Airways flight to JFK, New York is on the move. And a plane just took off from the from the west side. Boy, it seems so far away over there. Kind of looks like we're in jail over here because of the barbed wire fence. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of overview of where we are. We are at something called Family Viewing Park, I believe that's what, Family Viewing Area is what this is called. And kind of like at DFW Airport, it's a place that's set aside for people to hang out and watch planes, and we're very close to runway 18 left, just beyond that fence. So when the planes go by, they make a lot of noise. Now we're turning our camera to the north. where today the planes will be landing because the wind is coming from the south. There's the Runway DFW mobile, which got us to Austin safely yesterday and will be taking us back north today. And as you can see, there's a parking area, and I think there are a couple of picnic tables hanging around. So that's the family viewing area at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. It's one of those places, it's kind of like DFW Founders Plaza. You kind of really need a map to find it. It's kind of tucked away on a back road. But the reward is that you get kind of close up to the aircraft coming and going. And as a point of reference, if you did try to watch yesterday's broadcast, I'll show you where we were. Now there's the terminal building there. That's the Barbara Jordan main terminal here. And over here to the right, behind that Alaska Airlines plane, I think that's right. We were in a parking garage. I don't think it was that one there. It may be that we can't see it from this vantage point, but I think, well, is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. That's the parking garage we were on, I believe, but we were on an area kind of behind where you see gate number 1 there. At any event, it was a wonderful place, a wonderful overview of the airport from there. We just couldn't get a very good signal, unfortunately. There's Spirit Airlines flight 219. That one's going to be off to Orlando. And you're watching a rainy, or a little damp edition of Runway DFW this morning. And I sincerely hope that our signal's a little better than it was yesterday. Something to look forward to, perhaps, is FedEx Flight 621. It's on the move from the cargo area. It is over on the other side of the field. It's going to be headed to Memphis. And I don't know if it's the same DC-10 we saw yesterday come in. That wasn't on our broadcast. It happened after we switched off. I did record it in 4K. And I just didn't have enough time overnight to post that, but when I get back, I hope to do that for you guys, to see a vintage DC-10 without the winglets that the MD-11 has. There goes an American Airlines plane into the murk. Actually, that was an American Eagle flight, 4221, headed to St. Louis. The chances are that that DC-10 will be taking off from the other side of the field, from the west side. JetBlue. JetBlue in jail. So if I could park a pickup truck right where I'm standing, which I can't because it's not amenable to vehicles, I could get up and over that fence. I don't know if you've seen it. If you view the channel Hori's Box from he operates out of Fort Lauderdale, he put up a fascinating time-lapse sequence of how he does things from his viewing point. He lashes a ladder, a tall step ladder, well, not a step ladder, a tall, I don't know, a folding ladder, to his pickup truck, and then attaches all his gear at the top of the ladder, which looks very precarious. And it gives you a lot of appreciation for the ingenuity of a lot of the folks who bring you these airport broadcasts. This is a pretty easy location to set up from. We're right next to the car, and so we can just haul out our gear. And if you're worried about us becoming electrocuted in the rain, that's not a concern because we're not plugged into anything other than a big old battery. There's no high voltage where we are. Did we say where this is going? Yes, this is going to JFK in New York. It's an A320. Now headed to the top of runway 18 left in this no drone zone. So it's taxiing to the top of the runway, and from which it will make the right-hand turn right about now. And we'll be able to hear it roar by on Runway DFW at Austin. See how far up it gets before we lose sight of it. There it goes. Let me see if I can... Well, we're starting to see some action here. Got that Spirit flight, which is headed to Orlando, and right behind it will be a Delta A220, which is going to Boston, from Austin to Boston. I have lost track of the DC-10. I would have thought we would have heard it at least from over on this side. we're in a momentary lull here. I seem to be losing my voice. Let me see if I can peek in on your messages. Oh, and it seems that I've left Mr. Scanlan's message up there for a long time. Sorry about that. Colin 4051, good morning from Pennsylvania. Love the commentary and plane spotting. How often do you broadcast? We try to do it at least twice a week, usually from DFW Airport, but we are here at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport in Austin, Texas, a couple hundred miles south of where we normally go. And MJ Scanlon has a very interesting note about the FedEx DC-10, which was involved. He says it was involved in the attempted hijacking that occurred in 1994. Flugelschaft, hey Walt, glad you solved the issues. Hi, worldwide aviation community. Good to see you here in this live show. Thank you for those words of encouragement. I don't know that we've solved anything, really. It's just, and I've covered up my screen now so I can't see it. But, you know, we're kind of at the mercy of the internet right now. You know, we've got a good camera, we've got a good computer, we've got a way to connect to the internet, but sometimes the internet just isn't there for us, unfortunately. Now, I'm still seeing that DC-10 on the radar. This Delta A321 is on its way to Delta's home base of Atlanta, flight 2811. As I wipe off the moisture from our camera. There's my yellow moisture wiping cloth. The DC-10 we keep talking about but not seeing is 36 years old. Dating back to 1985. The year my daughter was born. So this jet's getting ready for the word to go. On the other side of the airport is American Airlines flight to Denver, which I'm looking for. It seems to be going down runway. Oh, there it is. Give you an idea of the distances involved here. And our camera likes to focus on the fence. So. Seems so far away. Meanwhile, over on this side, looks like we've got a Southwest jet which is bigfooting the Delta jet here. Southwest Flight 708 is headed to Cancun in Mexico. This is such a nice spot to see the planes roaring by. I think they must be probably less than 100 yards from where we are as they rush down the runway. Now back to this Delta flight to Atlanta, which I guess looks like it has clearance now for its next activity. We got a wave from an airport operations car which just drove past on the other side of the fence. Checking the perimeter. Welcome, new subscriber. I heard the music play to indicate your subscription, but I was unable to get to my screen in time because it's covered up by a shirt. It's an extra shirt. I haven't taken my shirt off, by the way. That would not be appropriate. Although I guess if I had to save my equipment, I'd probably take my shirt off. Where is United going today? Looks like this one's going to Newark. Newark, New Jersey, one of the 3 big airports in the New York metropolitan area. The 737-724 in the older United livery. And this is another 20th century plane, just barely, which came to be in July of 1999. We had a couple of arrivals over on this side since we've been here. Most of the takeoffs. That right there is American Eagle Flight 3829. We'll be going to Nashville. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is Runway DFW at AUS, Austin-Bergstrom International Airport, for the second of two live broadcasts from here. Our first one yesterday afternoon did not go well technically. We had a great viewing position, but our signal was just... I won't use the word I'm thinking in polite company. Off to Nashville. That Embraer 175 it's a relatively quiet plane as it takes off compared to some of the others we've heard. We saw United Jet in the older livery. Now we've got one coming into view in the newer livery. 737-800, 95231 off to Houston Intercontinental. Making the turn and ready to go. kind of getting used to that fence, but I sure wish I was about 5 feet taller. Here's a Delta jet coming into view. It's flight 973 at A220-100. And was it a Delta flight? What was the other flight going to? This is going to Baston. From Aston to Baston. We did see another plane going to Boston. I can't remember if could it have been Delta? Probably not. I'm seeing the DC-10 moving around on the radar. This is what we've been talking about is a FedEx DC-10. It's going to be off to Memphis, and we'll try to catch it for you if we can. We're assuming, and I'm a neophyte here at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport, but my sense is that the larger jets like that, the heavies, typically use the west side runway for operations. Oh, it would sure be great if it came over here. So our time is now 7:25 Central Time in the USA. We've been on the air for about an hour. I don't think we've had any hiccups except for the rain. Alright, the FedEx flight is now lining up on runway 18 right. That's not it. It's a UPS flight that just took off ahead of it. Off to Dallas Fort Worth. I've seen that plane come more than once. That 767. Okay, so now we're going to just try to point our camera in the direction of 18 right. Let's see if we can catch the DC-10. It's a 36-year-old bird from 1985. And DC-10s typically go up at a pretty sharp angle. It's on the move. Okay. Into the murky Austin one in the sky. With an increasingly rare look at a DC-10. Boy, have those endured, along with their updated brother, the MD-11, which we see a lot of in DFW. Operated by both FedEx and UPS cargo. Well, this one's headed to you, Horry, at Fort Lauderdale. It's Southwest Flight 1771. It's kind of fun when things seem to be working. We've got American Airlines Flight 495 for you right here. The 737-800 headed to the sun and fun capital of the world, Miami Beach. But it's pausing now for one final look at Texas. It's gotten to the point where I can take the shirt off of my computer. Let's see what's going on. We have a business jet. Embraer FAM 100 Don't know where it's going. That is a short little thing. When I saw that, I envisioned that it was going to be taking off at about 2 feet. It used up a little more runway than I thought it was going to. Right in front of us there is United Airlines Flight 654. The 12-year-old 737-924 ER. Extended range. And this one's going to Washington, D.C. To Dulles, not to National. It is, as you can tell, a gray morning here at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. It's 76 degrees. Got a light breeze coming in from the, I'd say, south-southeast. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to you to Runway DFW. This is a special broadcast from Austin-Bergstrom International Airport, a couple hundred miles south in Austin, Texas. And we hope that you will like and subscribe to our little shindig here on YouTube. Citation just came in from Sugar Land, Texas, which I believe is in the Houston area. 33-minute flight. We have a new subscriber, Rich Wright. Welcome to Runway DFW. So glad to have you with us as we watch this United 737-900 taking off for our nation's across. The rain has stopped here. And I hesitate to call it rain. It was more like just a really steady drizzle for a bit. Our friend from Delta over here. It's an A319 headed to JFK Airport in New York City. And you see on your screen there's an address you can go to on your computer or your phone. Streamlabs.com/runwaydfw. And if you would like to contribute to our efforts, to our streaming expenses, our travel expenses, that's where you can go. Leave us a tip or leave us a recurring monthly contribution. And now that we have 3,500 subscribers, all you would just reach in your pocket and give us $1 every month. Just a dream. I know that would never happen, but we're in Elon Musk territory, of course. He's got a big Tesla plant here in Austin, just opened recently. The Gigafactory, I think they call it. And Elon, you got a lot to know. So we're at the family viewing area right now at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. Elon, if you just want to throw a couple of those big sacks of cash, you know, the ones with the dollar signs written on them, and just kind of deposit them right here. It's probably not too far. You just have your people do it. I thank you in advance. Do we even know where this plane is from? JFK. To La Manzanilla Grande. And Renee Taylor, one of our loyal viewers, is correcting me from a statement I made yesterday. And I was mistaken that she's a para-Olympian. Not a Paralympian, she does Special Olympics in the equestrian division. Competing again this year. And if I'm not mistaken, Raina, you told us a couple of weeks ago that you'd already won a gold medal this year in the competition. You came right on here and told us about it, so we thank you for that. We wish you all the best. Mrs. Runway DFW is an equestrian as well. She doesn't do any competitions, just likes to ride her horses. You're looking at Southwest Airlines Flight 623 on its way to Dallas Love Field. It's an 11-year-old Boeing 737-7H4. Commenting about this running. I think she's watching this morning. She got kind of fed up yesterday with our problems we were having in our stream. I think she's ready when I get home to give all my equipment to Goodwill. I keep telling her it's not the equipment that's bad, it's our connection. So it's about 7:46 here locally. This is called the Jack. Can't read that last word on the little screen. The Jack Vidal. Yeah, so. Trance, I'm with you. I have no idea who the Jack Vidal is. I guess anybody with a keyboard and access to the internet right now could probably look that up and enlighten us all. I feel like I'm doing Foley work here. Foley is the art of sound effects, and whenever there's gravel underfoot here, whenever I walk around, it makes that noise. who is Jack Vidal? Can someone find out? Tony Earl is first to check in with that. Southwest salutes Jack Vidal, our original VP of Maintenance, by dedicating a plane he's named for, recognizing 24 years of service and leadership. That's cool. Thank you, Tony. We're all just a little bit smarter today. On my screen here, I'm seeing a little bit of strobing in the red and green colors there. I don't know if it's just my computer or what we're sending out. I don't see it on my camera view screen, so maybe somewhere in the processing it's doing that. One of our viewers is saying that MJ Scanlon is saying Southwest Airlines California 1 is landing on 18 on 18 right, and I don't know how much of that we'll see. Let's see if we can see him. Our view is kind of obscured to the right side of the runway, or the right side of the airport. It's just now reaching the northern perimeter of the airport according to flight radar. California 1, of course, being a special livery. In the foreground, that tower and that little building there and other airplanes. It's over there somewhere. Maybe we'll get a better view of it as it pulls over to this, or pulls into the Barbara Jordan terminal. Meanwhile, this aircraft's not taking off. This is the Southwest plane, which is destined for Dallas Love Field. But at the moment, not taking off. Maybe there's a weather issue at the other end and it's waiting for clearance. Behind me walking their dog. There's the glide path for 18 right. Keep that in mind in case we have any other incoming flights of interest. That plane was coming in from Midway Airport in Chicago. After a 2-hour and 13-minute flight. And now finally this Dallas-bound aircraft is on the move. Just joining us, welcome on in. My name is Walt, and this is Runway DFW at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. I was looking back at the playback yesterday, and at one point I called it Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. I cringed when I heard that. I should know better. To the clouds. And we salute all the air traffic controllers around the country, and specifically this morning, those guys and gals who are up in the tower there at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. That is a big, big job. There behind that moving plane is one of the older Southwest liveries, which when we did our broadcast from Love Field, I don't know, it was about a month or two ago, I saw a plane like that. The livery was almost a matte finish compared to and I don't know if that's just because of how old the paint job is, or if that's how they originally painted it. I can't remember. But it wasn't shiny like the newer liveries. When you've got hundreds of planes in your fleet, I guess you've got to kind of take stock of what you've got. If you change your livery to something different, then you've got to decide, well, this plane may not be long for we may be retiring this jet pretty soon, so I guess that goes into the consideration of whether you get a new paint job or not. We see that a lot with the United jets. We see a mixture of the old and new livery, which obviously takes years to, for a big airline, it takes years to turn all that over. And speaking of liveries, there you see an Aeromexico. Is that their, what do we call that? A Connect, yes. Is that right? Mr. Jinsko just subscribed to thank you. We welcome all new subscribers. We welcome anybody. But if you're a subscriber, of course, you get to hang out in the chat room with us. And we have just the most fabulous array of subscribers who hang out there, and they've got their own show going on. Rosalind Mata poses the question, I wonder if Matthew McConaughey flies in and out of the airport. He lives in Austin. I suspect he does. I suspect he also doesn't fly commercial, but you never know. MJ Scanlon checking in with the official name of the livery that we see. I think it's there in the background. The Ken Blue Scheme. Southwest Airlines. Yeah, there it is in the center of your picture. I hope I pronounced this right. Louis de Haan, good afternoon from Utrecht in the Netherlands. Welcome. Glad to see you. It's kind of lunchtime over there on the continent, is it not? We're getting another alert from MJ Scan. What is that? Ooh, the American Airlines America West Retro livery to depart in 50 minutes for Tampa. City's tail of the gate. We can look around for that. Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Looking like the Aeromexico flight is going to be headed to the other side of the runway here, or to the other side of the airport, I should say. It's an Embraer 190. I don't think we see any of those on the other airlines, the 190 variant of the Embraer. That'll be going to Mexico City. Let me see. I can spot another Southwest flight pushing back. Well, it's right around 8 o'clock, a little after 8. Oh no, our signal's going away. Get it, as they say in Texas. I hadn't seen a variable signal until just now, and it kind of dipped on us. Let's reestablish ourselves here, shall we? Hello everybody. My name is Walt and we are here in Austin. Hopefully to bring you some more aircraft activity before I have to go back to the hotel and pack things up. Welcome to Runway DFW at AUS. And as expected, that Aeromexico flight appears to be headed over to the west side of Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. As we peer through the barbed wire fence. See a Delta flight behind it, which will be an A321 headed to Delta's home base of Atlanta, coming into your view right now. It looks like it's coming in this direction. Good morning, flight crew. I'm kind of a laid-back person, so this vibe here at Austin suits me. Not quite so hectic as it is at DFW most of the time, or much of the time. Definitely have to come down here again sometime. As I said, the reason I'm here, the excuse for me being here is that I'm picking my son up who's visiting some friends. My son has come to Texas from his home base in Seoul, South Korea, where he works as a journalist for NK News. Sound. I don't know that I could describe it. Something like that. So again, this Delta flight's going off to Atlanta. A321. How old is that plane? When was it built? It's a youngin', just 5 years old. Alaska Airlines Flight 1003. It's pushing back now for a journey to Seattle. Glad to see all of our familiar names in our chat room here from an unfamiliar place to us. Not unfamiliar, I guess we know what Austin Airport is. As of yesterday, I had never been to this airport. The last time I flew into Austin, it was to their old airport, which was closer into town, but it didn't have any room to expand. And this is a former military base. It was Bergstrom Air Force Base at one time. And I meant to look up last night when the switchover happened from wiping off my iPad keyboard here. It's almost damp still. Yeah, I don't know when the switchover happened from the old airport to the new one. Been in the 90s. And I generally have no occasion to drive or to fly to Austin. It's always driving. Which I guess you could do the drive in maybe 3 hours, but I usually take a bit longer with rest stops and whatnot. There's a great, in West Texas, not West Texas, but West Texas, the city or the town. It's right on I-35, and they've got I'm sure when my son and I drive back to Dallas today, we'll be stopping there because it's a big Czech community. Czech is in Czechoslovakian, and they have a great kolache place there right on the highway. There's several actually, but there's one that's kind of more or less the original one, and it's always crowded, and it's always fresh, and they're always delicious. So I commend that to you if you ever find yourself driving up or down Interstate 35 between Dallas and Austin. There goes that Aeromexico Connect flight off to Mexico City. Embraer 190. Coming at you is this American Airlines jet plane. Today's 19. It's going to be headed to the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. Camera just doesn't want to focus on anything but barbed wire there. So it's headed over this side to runway 18 left for takeoff. I hope you all are having a great day wherever you may be. to say, with the overcast skies and with the pleasant temperatures, this is almost heaven for plane spotting. The thermometer says 78 degrees, but I don't know. It doesn't. I guess it's a little humid, obviously. But it's real nice when you don't have that sun beating down on you. I had my big floppy hat on yesterday, but being out in the sun in Texas on top of a concrete parking garage, a little hot. First thing I did after I packed up was I went to there's a convenience store right here on the property of the airport. Had they have what they call a cell phone lot. So instead of parking, you can kind of hang out there while you're waiting for a plane to arrive. And the convenience store has an arrivals board right on the front of it. And so I made a mental note of that as I was coming in. I went there right after the broadcast yesterday. Got me a liter bottle of water and consumed almost all of it in about one gulp. And I'm not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination. Standing there, panning a camera back and forth in the sun does tend to make you thirsty. Here comes American Airlines A321. It is flight 2573. It's off to another big American Airlines hub, other than Dallas, Fort Worth. This one's going to Charlotte in North Carolina. Delta A220 is on the move. Don't know where it's going. It's flight 1527. radar does not indicate a destination. We've got an incoming flight now from New Orleans. It's American Airlines flight, or American Eagle flight 4219 and Embraer 175. Right here on Runway DFW at Austin. Seeing many landings on this side. I think that most of the landings have been taking place on the east side. Here's a map of where we are. On the bottom, in the center, if you can read it, I don't know if you can, it says, "You are here." And the orientation of that map is the north is on the right side and the south is on the left side. So we are very close to runway 18 left. Not so close to runway 18 right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the plug portion of our podcast. Yes, do what that guy says. He commands you to leave us a tip. Even $1. Be much appreciated. Helps us out, helps us grow, helps us with our travel expenses and streaming expenses. So there you go. And if you will be kind enough to do that, we will give you an acknowledgement on the screen at Runway DFW. Thank you. Alright, enough of that blatant self-promotion. I do thank all of you who have, over the course of our live broadcasting, provided us with contributions. Hearing a helicopter. Hear it? Seems to be coming from the right. We saw a helicopter landing the other day, yesterday. Meanwhile, here comes a Cessna Citation coming in from Dallas Love Field. Curious to see if we can see this helicopter. There's a tree in the way over here. And the sound seems to be coming from the other side of that building over there. It was funny to see that jet coming in and hearing the sound of a helicopter. I guess we'll be able to see it when it goes up in the air if it clears this tree. I imagine it would be going over in that direction so it wouldn't interfere with runway operations. Assuming our signal holds up, we'll probably be with you until about 9:30 Central Time. So about an hour from now. So intrigued by this. It was equipped with cameras, several cameras, but it went by so fast. I wasn't expecting it to roar by in this direction, and so I couldn't make out what it was. It was definitely capable of doing aerial photography, that's for sure, from what I could tell. And now it is quiet. I see no flights on the horizon. I see nothing pushing back from the Barbara Jordan terminal over there. We have a new subscriber. Judgy D? Hope I didn't mangle your name, Judgy D, but welcome to Runway DFW. You're in good company with all of our regulars. And there's our friend Raina with a $5 tip. Thank you, Raina. That's very kind of you. Incoming now is a Delta Connection. The Mitsubishi CRJ 900LR coming in from Cincinnati on Runway DFW at Austin. Reverie there was interrupted by flight operations. Seems as though the sun is trying to peek out behind us. Can we see that? We are again coming to you live from the family viewing area at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport in Austin, Texas. And there's the sun. It's behind us. And if those clouds burn off, it's going to be a nice warm day again. Checking in. She was kind enough to come and visit us yesterday at the parking garage as we were struggling to bring you our broadcast. We had a nice talk. She's with the Airport or Airline Videos Live contingent. We have a lot of friends over there, but she took time out of her schedule to come and see us. So Lady Dreamweaver, thank you, and we hope to see you again sometime. Visit us at DFW if you ever get in the neighborhood. Here's the Delta Connection flight looping back from the other end of runway 18 left. And here comes flight from Orlando, the Southwest Airlines flight from Orlando. wind is picking up now. I can tell because my tower of gear over here is kind of rocking back and forth. It's perched a little precariously, but this morning it didn't really matter. Now I might have to reconfigure it. But you can see the rain that fell on the top of that case there had accumulated just a little bit. That's what we were contending with this morning. Earlier this morning, I should say. But that seems to have cleared up. For a moment there, I was really mentally preparing to pack things up, just to keep everything safe. I didn't fancy putting my computer in a gigantic bag of rice trying to absorb all the moisture, as one might do with a phone. That's the flight that came in from Orlando. Let me tell you about that plane. 737-79 Paul, dating back to 2005. As I'm sure you already know, we pointed out before that Southwest's fleet is exclusively 737s. And that was an operational decision that was made a long time ago. Oh, and here's the special livery American Airlines plane that we were discussing. Am I right about that? Yeah, it's the America West American Airlines livery jet, which we have seen once or twice at DFW. This flight 1201, it's headed to Tampa. American calls these heritage liveries, and it has a bunch of them. AirCal, TWA. It's got a couple of American Airlines retro liveries. Paying tribute to earlier American designs. There's a good look at that. That one's for you, Kevin, at Airline Videos Live. He's a big fan of. He hung out in Phoenix a lot earlier in his career, and he's got a lot of old photos and videos of when America West was in its prime. The sun came out to give us a nice good look at that. for the arrival of Southwest Airlines Flight 268 coming in from Dallas Love Field, now on final approach. A gust of wind picks up here. You know what's missing is ATC. You've probably noticed that we don't have any ATC here, air traffic control radio. I just didn't get around to reprogramming my scanner for the frequencies that are local to this airport. Next time will be a little more, it was kind of a last minute trip. But as I said, the people, the staff here at Austin-Bergstrom have been more than accommodating. A special thank you to Sam, who was our liaison yesterday. I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. I compiled a best of from yesterday's broadcast, which was not, would be set by technical issues in the transmission. So it's not the most pleasant thing to watch on playback, but I have compiled a kind of a best of from yesterday. And I tried to post it overnight, but I did it before I went to bed and uploaded it to YouTube, I thought, but it hadn't quite finished by the time I woke up this morning, so I'll have to redo that. And also I did get a 4K view of the FedEx DC-10 arrival yesterday afternoon. That happened after we went off the air. And I'll be posting that after I get back home in the next day or two. There's that old Southwest livery. With the airline name on the tail. You can pick up an American Airlines flight coming in. Well, it's an American Eagle flight coming in from Cincinnati. Well, we might be able to So yeah, we're not going to be able to see too much of that. So much of we can see here. Didn't see it. Just kind of spotted the tail there. Alaska Airlines flight 3380. Well, it's it is Alaska Sky West, more accurately. This one's going to San Francisco. It's an Embraer 175 LR. Mrs. Runway DFW from her perch at Runway DFW Ranch is saying we're having the same issues as yesterday. Now I am seeing a more or less solid signal at our location. Getting between 4 and 5 bars of signal, which is generally more than adequate. Subscriber to Runway DFW, Awash. Did I get that? 2004. Sorry, it disappeared from the screen, but in any event, welcome to our ever-growing community of Runway DFW viewers and subscribers. Almost to the end of my water bottle. My grandson would say, "Your voice is sounding a little scratchy today, Grandpa." Southwest Flight 375 coming in from Fort Lauderdale. Getting a really big gust of wind right now. My better half is letting me know that the audio is cutting in and out. Turn off the automatic volume control, see if that makes a difference. So the levels look okay on my meter, but because I don't want to use up any excess bandwidth, I'm not listening back to a feed of the broadcast. So I'm kind of in a depend on others to let me know what's going on. Got a Gulfstream 5 jet coming in. It's still a couple minutes away. Can't yet tell if it's going to be coming in on this side of the airport or not. We'll find out momentarily. At Alaska Airlines, or Alaska by SkyWest, is that what it is? That Embraer 175 is headed over to the west side for departure, leaving us all alone here on the east side. Gulfstream we talked about, so it's coming in on our side of the airport. Let's see if we can pick it out of the sky. I spy with my little eye. You can see it too. We do have Southwest Airlines. My mouth is not working. Southwest Airlines flight 2696 on its way to Nashville. Is this the one we saw coming in from Nashville? Maybe. Some of the airport now bathed in sunlight, and some is still shrouded in clouds at this point. Falcon 7X taking off for parts unknown. And it's supposed to be the business jet section of our broadcast. Wind definitely picking up as we do a station identification on the Runway DFW. Well, we've got about a half hour left of broadcasting to do for you before we've got to hit the road back to the Dallas area. So thank you for joining us for this special edition of Runway DFW at AUS. we have plus flight 139. Where might it be going, you ask? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. It's Orlando. Welcome to another new subscriber whose name I can't see because I'm looking at the viewfinder. Welcome to you. Thank you. As we check out this aircraft, a 13-year-old 737-7H4, it is headed to New Orleans first. More business jet action. Cessna 560 Citation Ultra. No information about origination. So here's the Southwest flight to New Orleans. SR-22 taking off on a Raina being Taylor, being Taylor, it is Raina Taylor, being helpful and letting us know that the name of the person who just subscribed is Silvno. So, thank you. Michelle RS is wondering if Southwest will ever change its colors. I don't know. I have to say that I'm not a fan of their color scheme. It's certainly distinctive. It just doesn't do anything for me. I am intrigued, however, talking about livery. I guess maybe those of you who are you keep abreast of all the airline comings and goings, you've probably seen the new livery of Condor, which is a division of Lufthansa, I believe. It's kind of like a leisure brand of Lufthansa. And the new Condor livery is just stunningly, I don't know if you'd say it's crazy or bold. It's certainly bold. It's a series of vertical stripes, which in different kind of pastel colors, which resembles a beach blanket or a beach towel, I guess. Condor does not fly into DFW, unfortunately. It does fly to a few domestic U.S. or U.S. destinations. So I'll be looking for it. It looks intriguing. You certainly wouldn't be able to miss it, were you to be lucky enough to see one. A couple of business-type aircraft getting ready to go here. Got this Flex Jet. It is a Embraer Praetor 500. That one will be making its way to Cincinnati, Ohio. And then we've got an Embraer Phenom 100, which is over there on the right, and that has no destination listed. the two jets we've just been looking at. And approaching our takeoff spot. We will shortly see Southwest Airlines flight 1594 coming to Columbus, Ohio. But I think the wait right now is for this plane coming in from Tyler, the Cessna Citation. Takeoff. There's quite a variety of aircraft on this side of Austin-Bergstrom. And here's the flight to Columbus. Tiny jet action here. Phenom 300. And if it's a Cessna Citation you'd like to see, there it is. No, that's not it. Oh, that is it. I'll straighten that out in a minute. Of the JSX airline coming in from Dallas Love Field. I saw one or two of those planes at Love Field the day I was there a month or so ago, and I forgot to look them up, see what the deal is with JSX. Business jet terminal. JSX, I'm not sure. I should look that up. I mean, is it a scheduled airline? Is it, I'm not sure. Not being very enlightening here for you this morning, at least as far as JSX Airlines goes. Maybe it occupies some kind of a travel niche. Maybe they offer business class services. Coming to the end of our little adventure here at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. And I would like to again thank all the nice people we met here. At the airport, they paved the way for us to hang out at the top of the parking garage yesterday. And there it is there. They had no control, however, over the internet signal that we were getting or not getting. But I'm definitely going to be coming back here, and that will just depend to some degree on your support, because you are the sponsor of Runway DFW. So if you would be kind enough to favor us with a contribution to our efforts, to our streaming expenses, our travel expenses, our equipment expenses, that will help us live long and prosper. So the address is streamlabs.com/runwaydfw. You can do a one-time contribution, you can do a monthly one. There's no obligation beyond that. Cancel it anytime. And that'll help us out. So with that, I think we're going to conclude our activities at Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. right, that's it from the end of our journey to Austin. Thank you so much for bearing with us, for sharing our joys and our grief as we try to bring you pictures when pictures wouldn't be flying through the sky. So we'll see you again soon from our regular perch at DFW International Airport back in North Texas. But until then, my name is Walt Zwirko, and I say thank you so much for hanging out with us in Austin. And we'll see you again real soon. And we hope happy contrails to you until we meet again.